I'm going to teach you how to play Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz on bass. But I've broken this bass line down into 5 stupidly simple challenges to help you nail the whole damn thing and make your friends go, ooh, instead of, ugh. Starting with challenge number 1, which is all about playing the right notes in the right order with the right fingers. Sounds simple enough, but there's something special about this riff that beginners often struggle with. Check it out on the tab real quick. Notice there's a mix of zeros, which indicate open, unfretted strings, and also non-zeros, which indicate fretted notes. That mix of open strings and fretted notes creates a common beginner fingering mistake. See, if you're new to bass, or if you can remember when you were, you know how you want to like fret with your index finger over here and then pluck with your index finger over here, and then you want to fret with the middle and pluck with the middle? Matching up the fingers like that is called finger syncing, and it's very make-sensey and natural for many people. The only problem is you should never, ever think of bass fingering that way. Just like ever. It's a super inflexible approach that quickly breaks if you need to like pluck the same note twice or fret with your ring and pinky fingers. And both of those things happen in basically every bass line ever. So don't do finger syncing. Just stop it. The solution is to think of your fretting and plucking fingerings independently. They don't actually relate to each other. And since it's hard to figure out the right pattern from a gorilla's hands, I'll walk you through this. For fretting, since it's just open strings plus 2nd and 3rd fret, use index on the 2nd fret notes and middle on the 3rd fret notes. So that'd be open, open, index, middle, middle, index, open, open, middle, index, middle, open. You can see how it would make no sense to sync your plucking fingers to that. You'd be inefficiently repeating fingers, plus what's the plucking hand equivalent of an open string? You just like wave at the strings or something. So here's how you should actually pluck this. It works great with straight alternating plucking, which I cover in detail in other videos and my Beginner to Badass course. So just straight up index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, same thing again, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle. Simple. So challenge number 1 is to play these notes along with the song. And as your trusted internet bass teacher, I've meticulously prepared you to fail miserably. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you played the right notes in the right order, but maybe it didn't feel very good. Well, you actually still passed this challenge. Let me explain. See, we talked about notes, but we didn't talk about rhythm, the key to landing your notes at the right time. Which is why challenge number 2 is hit 'em with rhythm. Even though this riff is uber hummable and familiar, it's got a tricky rhythmic approach that throws a lot of people. Check it out, here is a rhythm. It's pretty easy to feel and sing, ba 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 da ba ba. And it's easy because every note or group of notes lands on the beat. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1. But if I scoot just a few of those notes to start off the beat, now they're pushing against the beat, making them harder to feel and sing, but also cooler sounding. We just stumbled on a rhythmic device that's used in Feel Good Inc. and also every other song in the universe that's remotely funky. We're talking about syncopation, a fancy music theory term that just means emphasizing the offbeats. The syncopation was key to this riff banging so hard, as Murdoc discusses in his commentary on the music video.
Voila! There it is, the riff that sold 1 million bass guitars. I could have retired right there and then and still been enshrined as one of the all-time greats.
Syncopation creates tension that makes music more funky and cool, but it's also harder to nail as a beginner because it's running opposite to the pulse that you're feeling on the beats. According to Gorillaz' current real live bass player, Seye Adelekan, who was kind enough to shoot me a voice note on Instagram, the syncopation can make it feel wobbly to play.
Relax with it, you know, it can be quite wobbly because it's a funky one, so have some fun.
So how do you have fun with it and not suck at the wobbliness? Enter the beat ruler, the simplest way to visually break down rhythm. Even if you also know how to read sheet music, the beat ruler shows you the rhythm math in the most obvious way. So here's what notes on the beat look like. Play these with me if you want a bonus challenge. And then if we flip it, these are all off the beat, syncopated notes on the ands, which sound like this. Huh. And here's the actual rhythm for Feel Good Inc. Notice there's a mix of on and offbeat notes, which is super common. We go on, off, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. So the rhythm's not too complex on paper, but if you're not an experienced counter, how do you get your fingers to execute that rhythm without like 1 and 2 anding yourself to death? Most people will try to just feel it and intuitively think bum, ba ba bum, bum, bum. And if that works for you, that's totally great. However, for a lot of people, when you throw syncopation into the mix of that intuitive approach, you get a big mess because you're not really sure how much space goes between the first bum and the next ba-da-dum. So the cheat code is to fill in the spaces in your humming to make sure you track all the beats. This takes what you learned from the beat ruler and turns it into something you can feel easily in the moment. So in this bass line, we've got a rest on beat 2, on beat 4, and then the next beat 1, and we need to hum something to ourselves to keep feeling the beat there. And that's where the drums save the day, because there's a snare on beat 2 and on beat 4, and then there's a kick on beat 1. So instead of just thinking bum, ba da dum, bum, ba, which might result in sloppy rhythm, you can think bum, snare, bum, 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 snare, bum, kick, bum. And now you've got the keys to nail challenge number 2, where you're gonna play the same exact notes, but you're actually grading yourself on rhythm. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. This song is a poetic warning against dystopian consumerism, and plugging a product in the middle of the video would be incredibly inappropriate. So if you're having any trouble nailing this bass line so far, or you just want a solid bass foundation that makes it easier to learn the songs you love, do not purchase my Beginner to Badass course, which covers all the fundamentals to get your technique and rhythm up to speed without bad habits, all while playing fun music, including this exact riff. Please avoid clicking the link below or checking it out at bassbuzz.com. Even if you nail the right notes at the right time, you might still sound like feel meh. Check it out. It's the right notes, I'm playing them at the right time, but it sounds wrong, right? That's because the key to sounding pro isn't just starting your notes on time, it's ending them on time, which is why challenge number 3 is tight note lengths. You can hear how important this is in the live version of Feel Good Inc. from Letterman. Hear how different the note lengths sound on the bass riff compared to the studio track? Here's the studio isolated bass. And here's the live bass isolated as best I can. You hear that? The live one is just like weirding me out so hard. Now, these are sick pro musicians. Maybe they changed the note lengths on purpose to mix it up. But man, I am very attached to hearing it the way it was on the record. So if you want to play this and have people recognize and enjoy it, and you're not on Damon Albarn's payroll, it's probably best to play the note length the way everyone's already heard it a million times. But why aren't we nailing it? We all kind of know that a note is supposed to start and then end. Like if you play a quarter note on beat 1, it's supposed to last all the way up until beat 2 and then end, because it's only worth 1 beat. Those are the rules, and they're not that complicated. But you need some specific techniques to actually make note length happen on bass. You play the first note, easy peasy. Now it needs to end, which means touching the string with your fretting or your plucking hand. Then the next 3 notes flow into each other, ba-da-da. Now you need silence on beat 4, so that last note needs the fretting pressure released, plus maybe additional safety mutes, so on and so on. I cover muting technique in depth in my Beginner to Badass course, and also a previous YouTube video I'll link in the description. So challenge 3 is to play the same riff. Again, I swear we're gonna do something really new in the next challenge, but this time we're gonna try to nail pro grade note length and muting. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, you made it through the tough stuff. Let's get to the most fun part of this riff. Challenge number 4, we're going to White Castle for the beefy slide. Bass slides are maybe the most fun thing about being a bass player. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. But they trip people up a lot because it's like, do I press down the whole time? How do I not get lost? Why do I keep getting stuck? Why does it hurt so much? Help me, Josh, help! But fear not, for questions, there are answers. Quick fire slide tips, 13 seconds on the clock or something. Do you press down the whole time? Yes, but don't overpress with your fingers and thumb or you'll get stuck. How do I not get lost? Look where you're going, not where you came from. Why does it hurt?
It's part of your hazing, maggot.
You're scraping your skin on a piece of metal. It'll toughen up. For the slide in this riff, it makes the most sense to use your pinky finger because it means the least amount of shifting up required. But technically you could use whatever finger you want. And see how this slide is written with a little scoopy line and there's no note leading into the slide? That's because this slide is all about the destination. It doesn't really matter where you start from. 1 fret away is a little anticlimactic. Maximum frets away is a bit much. So just like some frets away, press down, pluck, and then immediately slide up to the 7th fret. Do a few of those with me now to prepare for the challenge, or just get the sound of it in your ear. Wow. Okay, if you can nail notes, rhythm, note length, and the slide, you will crush challenge number 4. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're almost ready to go out in the wild and play along with this whole song, but this last piece will put the cherry on top and make sure you don't stumble. Challenge number 5 is to nail the short but mighty bass solo. This mini bass solo puts to work everything you just learned. You've got fretted notes where you can make sure you're not doing finger syncing, you've got syncopated rhythm, and you've got rests where you gotta get your notes muted. The easiest way to fret this is just pinky, index, pinky, shift, index, open, and just pluck alternating. Index, middle, index, middle, index, and then whatever you want for those last 2 notes after the break. And make sure you can feel where to play on the beat and where to play off by using the beat ruler. This is a fancy graphic version, but you can always just draw these on paper to help yourself out. So we're going on, off, 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 on, on. All right, let's see if you can nail challenge number 5. I'll give you 2 chances with a break in between. Let's rock. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go again. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you've nailed all 5 challenges, there's just one more thing you need to be crowned Feel-Good Master and be able to play the full song. And real quick before we do that, if you try to play along with the actual song at this point, you'll notice it sounds absolutely terrible. So why is that? Here's the word from Seye again.
But one thing that I think people tend to get wrong, the riff is E flat, so I detune my E string to E flat.
Yeah, the song is in E flat, so you gotta tune your bass down to grab those beefy low notes. But you don't need to tune all your strings because we're only using the E and A strings. So you could just go like E flat, A flat, and then ignore the D and the G. And actually an even cooler thing that I learned from Seye,
I play the main riff all on the E string, or E flat string in this case.
I don't teach it like this because I think it's harder for beginners, but if you wanted to play it like Seye and only have to retune one string, you could move all those A string notes over to the now E flat string. Seye probably plays it like this because the notes sound fatter on the thicker string, plus it's less retuning on stage. But let's go back to the track I've retuned to E for you. We'll put together all the previous challenges. You're gonna play the basic riff, including the slide. You're gonna do that twice and then finish off with the bass solo. If you can nail this, you can play the whole song, guaranteed. Slow down the video if you need to the first time, and let's do it. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome job. But learning one song's not gonna make you that much better at bass, even if it was the lead single from 2005's acclaimed multi-platinum record, Demon Days. Luckily, the solution is simple. Learn a bunch more songs. But where do I start, Mr. Josh? What song should I learn? Nah worries, mate. Just click here for the first 50 songs you should learn on bass. You can fill out your songs wish list and keep making progress. I'll see you there. Good eye. No worries. Shrimp on the barbie. Crikey, that's not a knife. This is a bass lesson. Well, oil be fucked. Wrong accent.